not just an article. Lateef Ko Jakand, the governor who lived like the people. Opening, The Man and the Myth. They say power is a mirror. It doesn't change a man, it reveals him. For many, that mirror reflects excess, high walls, long convoys, and a widening distance between leader and led. But in 1979, Lagos encountered a different reflection. A man stepped into Alaosa not as a ruler, but as a servant. Not as a master of privilege, but as a student of the people's pain. Lateef Ko Jakand did not merely govern Lagos. He absorbed its chaos, inhaled its poverty, and exhaled solutions. In a country where leadership was often measured by the size of security details and private estates, Jakand dismantled the culture of separation. He became known as the Action Governor, a title not crafted by propaganda, but earned through relentless work, sleepless nights, and policies that reached the forgotten corners of society. He worked 16 hours a day, not to enrich himself, but to answer one haunting question. How can a city thrive when its children are locked out of opportunity? Roots of a visionary. Lateef Ko Jakand was born on July 23, 1929, in colonial Lagos, a city under British rule, divided by class, race, and access. His ancestral roots traced back to Omuaran in Kwara State, but Lagos was his classroom, his laboratory, and his lifelong mission. As a boy, he saw two Lagoses existing side by side. One of paved roads and privilege. Another of overcrowded homes, broken schools, and crushed dreams. He watched families trapped in poverty, not because they lacked talent, but because they lacked access. No classrooms. No hospitals. No roofs they could truly call their own. It was here that an idea took root in Jakand's mind. If government does not create opportunity, inequality becomes destiny. He believed that Lagos could only become a center of excellence if it first became a center of fairness. The pen, the first battlefield? Before Jakand ever held executive power, he held something more dangerous to tyranny. The truth. He entered public life as a journalist, rising through the ranks of the Daily Service and later the Nigerian Tribune, under the ideological guidance of Chief Obafemi Awolowo. Jakand didn't chase headlines, he interrogated power. He believed journalism was not just about reporting events, but about shaping national conscience. His editorials challenged colonial structures, military overreach, and political hypocrisy. As the first president of the Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria, NPAN, and a founding leader in Nigeria's media institutions, he fought fiercely for press freedom. To Jakand, democracy could not survive without a free press. And development could not happen without an informed citizenry. Before building roads, he helped build minds. Before constructing houses, he fought to protect ideas. 1979, when action replaced promises. By the time the military handed over power in 1979, Lagos was on the edge. The population was exploding. Housing was scarce. Schools were overcrowded. Healthcare was inaccessible to the poor. Most politicians spoke in cautious promises. Jakand spoke in plans. Running on the platform of the Unity Party of Nigeria, UPN, he anchored his campaign on the legendary 4 pillars. Free education. Free health services. Integrated rural and urban development. Full employment. Critics scoffed. Economists called it unrealistic. Opponents mocked it as populism. Some said Lagos was too complex to be governed by ideals. Jakand never argued back. He went to work. The low-cost revolution, dignity as policy. While other leaders pursued prestige projects, Jakand pursued impact. Housing was his first battlefield. He launched one of the most ambitious public housing programs in African history. The result was the birth of the now famous Jakand Estates, simple, functional homes designed not for luxury, but for human dignity. Over 20,000 housing units rose across Lagos. Amuwo Odofin, Ijeji, Dolphin Estate, and beyond. Jakand believed that a man with a home stood taller in society. A woman with a roof had stability. A child with an address had a future. In education, his revolution was even louder. He abolished the shift system, where children attended school in turns due to lack of classrooms. Within months, thousands of new classrooms were constructed. Detractors mocked the buildings as poultry sheds because of their simplicity. But for the children who finally sat at desks instead of floors, they were palaces of possibility. Education stopped being a privilege. It became a right. Healthcare, water, and the quiet foundations. Jikand understood something many leaders ignored. Development is not glamorous. He expanded free healthcare, building and upgrading general hospitals and primary health centers. He strengthened the Lagos State Water Corporation, pushing potable water into neighborhoods that had never known it. He established Lagos Television, LTV, to educate and inform citizens, not merely entertain them. He was laying foundations, quietly, deliberately, and without applause. The Metro Line, a dream too early. Perhaps Jikand's most visionary project was the Lagos Metro Line. In the early 1980s, long before gridlock became a daily nightmare, he foresaw Lagos choking under its own growth. He imagined trains gliding across the city, connecting communities, reducing pollution, and reclaiming time for the working poor. Contracts were signed. Planning began. Lagos stood on the brink of a transportation revolution. Then history intervened. The 1983 military coup halted everything. The Metro Line was cancelled. Billions were lost. A future was postponed. Jikand had been planning for the 21st century, governing among leaders still trapped in the past. Power without the trappings. What truly separated Jikand from his peers was not policy, but personal discipline. He refused official luxury vehicles, driving his personal Toyota Crown. He rejected the governor's lodge, choosing to remain in his modest Ilupiju home. He lived simply, dressing plainly, eating modestly, and moving without excess security. He proved that leadership did not require spectacle. That authority did not need intimidation. That integrity was the strongest armor. Jikand showed Lagos and Nigeria that power could coexist with humility. The military shadow and the burden of choice. The 1983 coup was not just political, it was emotional. Jikand was detained. His projects were frozen. His vision was interrupted. Years later, his decision to serve as Minister of Works and Housing under General Sani Abacha became controversial. Some viewed it as a pragmatic attempt to continue public service, others saw it as a painful compromise. History continues to debate that chapter. But even then, Jikand returned to what he knew best. Housing for the masses. Legacy, the fingerprints of a giant. Lateef K.O. Jikand died on February 11, 2021, at the age of 91. Yet in Lagos, he never truly left. He lives on. In the lecture halls of Lagos State University, LASU. In the pipes carrying water to millions. In the broadcasts of Lagos Television. In the family still sheltered by the homes he built decades ago. Jikand did not chase immortality. But Lagos made him immortal anyway. He taught Nigeria that leadership is not about climbing higher. It is about bending lower to lift others. He lived like the people. So the people could finally live with dignity.